A denied appeal isn't the end, but submitting the same unchanged case again usually won't change the result. So if your Google Business Profile has been suspended and your first appeal has been denied, here is what needs to happen before you request another review from Google. Because remember that while your Google Business Profile is suspended, you have no visibility on Google Maps, Google Search, and well, your business is invisible to customers and potential customers. So this time you cannot afford another rushed submission and a denied appeal. So a second Google Business Profile suspension appeal should not be a second attempt, it should be a stronger case. And before you submit again, 3 things must be true. First, you need to identify the real compliance issue and not just Google's vague label. Then you need to correct the issue before submitting again and before filling out the appeal form. And finally, you need to prove it with clear and consistent evidence. Those are the 3 PRs you cannot afford to miss. If one of these is missing, don't submit. When I review suspended profiles, one of the most common patterns I see is this. The wrong issue was addressed, the correction was incomplete, or the evidence didn't match the profile. Re-uploading the same unchanged case gives Google very little reason to reach a different decision. And you have to know that the additional review for your Google Business Profile suspension uses a separate Google form. It asks whether you use the appeals tool, whether you are denied, then your suspension date, management email, business profile ID, documents and supporting evidence, and a new explanation, up to 1000 characters. If you're about to request this additional review for a denied appeal, this is the form that looks like this. This is the Google standard additional review route after a denied appeal. So don't just think new documents, think about what was actually missing in the first appeal. Stronger or better matching proof, an additional correction, a clearer evidence of your name, address, or operations, or a more precise explanation of what changed. If you don't have any idea about the violation that triggered your Google Business Profile suspension, feel free to ask me in the comment section below or email me, and I'll definitely review that and tell you what I think the violation could be and how to fix it potentially. And there is one exception. If your business doesn't genuinely qualify for Google Business Profile, then doing another appeal will not change anything. That's the case for online-only businesses, lead generation businesses, or businesses with no real-world customer interaction, and no appeal will fix that. And a better wording won't create eligibility. Signs, that's just the Google's guidelines and standard rules. And that's very important. Don't create a replacement listing out of frustration. Creating a new listing will make a duplicate of your Google Business Profile, and it will make the situation worse, not better. And I know some people can be tempted to do that, but you should absolutely avoid it. Okay, if your Google Business Profile has been suspended, don't guess at the fix. Click the link in the description and request your free reinstatement review. Within 24 hours, I'll personally review your suspension and tell you honestly whether I believe I can help. I don't accept every case. I only take the ones I genuinely believe I can help with. If I do, I'll handle your entire reinstatement from the compliance review to the appeal and every follow-up with Google until a decision is made. The link is in the description and pinned in the comment section so you can get your free reinstatement review today. So if your Google Business Profile has been suspended and your first appeal has been denied, this is the exact sequence you should follow right after watching this video. First, you diagnose the violation, you diagnose what the issue is, then you correct, you apply all the corrections on your Google Business Profile, then you strengthen the evidence, the supporting evidence, the documents, and the proof. And finally, you can submit. You can submit the second appeal if the first one has been denied using the Google standard appeal tool. This is this one, and not the other one where you probably made your first appeal. See you in the next one.